Hey class, so I'm going to spend another week on this project just because Thanksgiving is coming up and I want to make sure that we have this project wrapped up before um, Thanksgiving break and that way we can start something new. So I'll have one more round and give you guys some time to adjust your layouts and then we can call this project done. So I'll start with group 1, starting with Matt's work. So it looks like we're looking at the denotative and the connotative over here. So this is looking a little bit better. Now, I'm not sure why there's some pixelation going on in your layout. As you can see, it's probably, I don't know what it is. Is it because it's been saved a lower version or something? But we definitely want to make sure that this is addressed and we keep our layout as clean as possible. I'm trying to see what we can do to improve this layout, but I like how we're staggering the information like so. I think we can work a little bit on the pull quote over here when life gives you lines. Uh, just make the whole text the same size because I think this parenthesis is a different size than this type and this type is also another size. So let's unify the size a little bit more appropriately. And then that can be something to address right here. And then let's try to address the widow over here. So let's include at least 3 words to end the sentence. Okay? And then careful how close you're getting to this edge right here. Let us go to your connotative version. Just careful with areas like this where the type is starting to get illegible. Now that you're working with those moves right here, it would be nice to see what the title would look like in this effect. So if you have something going like this, what about if Margarita Jalapeno went the other direction? So you have this like mixing going on with your whole recipe. So that way you're using the same effect throughout your whole layout. And it would be nice to see when life gives you limes also follow in this motion. So you have one motion and effect going on for your whole recipe just to kind of simplify it. So that way you don't have 2 different types, or actually 3. We have the wavy margarita, the stacked jalapeno, and then we have this swoosh-like effect for it. So just let's stick to one effect. Okay? Let's move on to the second person. So this is Vanessa's work. So fluffy pancakes, this looks a lot better. The information is a lot easier to read, and when you zoom in, you can see that there's these different effects happening that stack the pancakes nicely. So I definitely like where this is going. The only thing that's missing here is a pull quote, Vanessa. I'd like to see how we address the pull quote. And then so now those are the directions over here. The ingredients would be nice to see maybe like something that says ingredients on the maybe somewhere in the middle or off to the side just so that we can see a bit more clearly. Maybe the same treatment you have with step 1 and step 2, that can be how you treat your ingredients title. And let's take a look at how you can incorporate a pull quote. This looks nice. I like how we've opened up certain areas of the text. Let's put ingredients to align to the left like the rest of your column right here. So that'll kind of give it a bit more consistency throughout. I would also like to see a little bit more leading in between each of those sentences just because the space is just a little too tight. So open up the leading, so the spacing in between the sentences, okay? And then let's also see what a pull quote can do to this layout. So maybe the space that you have over here, or if you want to move certain things around, you can do so. So see how you can incorporate that for your next round. Let's move on to Sophia's work. Sophia, we still haven't changed the title treatment, and we definitely want to see if we can move away from the traditional cookbook / recipe treatment over here. It looks nice, but I definitely want to challenge you to do something different. So if we break up the text and bring half of this recipe down here, so the how can go down here, and then the recipe prep can go above, aligning to ROPA. it would start to create a little bit more of a different look for this layout, okay? We also want to establish a different type of hierarchy for this pull quote. Maybe it could be bold, or it could be in italic, or it could be larger or smaller, just so that it gives a different treatment to the information than what we see in your body copy and your the rest of your ingredients list. So a little bit more breaking up of the page and just organizing your information clearly. But I like that you have nice organized columns, and you have 3 pieces of text that you're working with nicely. So it's just now taking a look at how we can work with a little bit more interest, visual interest on the page. I like this as it is. And one thing that I would say is I'm not so sure where the pull quote is. So try to see if we can include the pull quote somewhere and just differentiate that than the rest of your text over here and up here. But I like how we have your ingredients stacked, creating this this little triangular shape over here, and then we create a bit more space over here, so we have this nice movement going on. So let's just take a look at how we address the pull quote. Just a few minor details to call this finished. Let us look at Kira's work. So Kira, this is looking a little bit better. We see a little bit more organization into the page. Just careful with areas like this. We are organizing our columns in a specific way, so just make sure that maybe melted goes to the next line with sprinkle. All right, and just in general, careful how close certain things are getting to the information. And I think in the overall look and feel, your text can go a little bit smaller too. This might be a little too big. And then I'm not sure what's going on here with this ingredients list. I'm prompted to just keep this aligned to the rest of your column right here, right? And then let's bring out a pull quote. I think just the word enjoy is not enough, so let's bring out a sentence that you want your viewer to leave with and remember this recipe, right? Your connotative is looking nice. Unfortunately, it is very difficult to read this text. You have to keep your neck at a certain angle to the left. So I would say take this recipe card and flip it. Instead of creating it a portrait view, make this version a landscape view. So when you flip this over, you're able to take a look at your reading a little bit more properly. And then I would also you'd have to flip baked candied yams so that it reads consistently. So just a few things here and there, and also pull quote. All right. Moving on to Christian's work. So this is Christian Rosa's work. So we're working with kebabs. Better. It's improving. I would like to see a different font treatment. When I say font treatment, I don't mean another font. Maybe make the text here a bit smaller, because your text still takes up most of the page. As we can see, every corner almost has text except for this corner over here. So let's simplify that a little bit more. And I would use your letter forms as a way to organize your text throughout the whole layout. And instructions is starting to get too close to the K. Right, so let's address that. And let's bring out a pull quote. And I think both of these can go smaller right now. They're a bit on the larger side. Okay. For your denotative, this still looks like a traditional recipe card, and we want to avoid that. So let's see if we can come up with a different layout treatment for this. Right now, I like how you're dividing up the information, but I'm still seeing a very particular kind of layout that doesn't really stand out to me, right? So let's pull out a pull quote that we want to use. And then also make your text a little bit smaller. I think both these guys and these guys can go smaller. Hope this helps, and I will see you guys in the next video round for group 2.